What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm about to show you some of the biggest hot dose of nonsense you have ever seen. One of the most prolific forms of propaganda and manipulation and rewording and conflating issues and terms that you've ever seen. I'm about to show you gaslighting in its pure uncut form. I'm about to expose why just because you have a cabinet of diverse people doesn't mean you have a cabinet of competent people, okay? Because see, on Joy Reid's show on MSNBC, which y'all all know how I feel about Joy Reid, she's been planted right there in the liberal media to run interference for them. She's not thinking about the American people. She ain't even thinking about black community, white communities, Asian communities, the Latino community, none of them. She's just trying to help push the agenda and the narratives that the Democratic Party wants her to push. So she brings on the first elected Indian lady to talk about illegal immigration. And she gives her this platform to just spew out all this garbage. And then you're going to have a chance to see Joy Reid insert her biases and start to paint the narrative to the people that's watching this garbage, that there is something nefarious about President Trump and his efforts to secure the border. Okay, so y'all ready for this? I am, okay. After watching it, steam shot out my nose like on Big Trouble in Little China. I was upset watching this garbage. So let's get into it.
Their policies stink. They're no good. They have no ideas. They have no nothing. The Democrats. We should be able to make an immigration bill that can really solve the problem. Not just this. This is one aspect of it. This is one very important but small aspect of it.
Donald Trump quickly sought to shift.
Now, of course, that's the president. They get a little clip of him opening up, keeping it 100% real, like some of the other presidents haven't, like some of the citizens walking around the United States are completely blind to the fact that the Democratic policies absolutely stink. They're garbage. That is why you're about to see what they're about to do is run interference for their lack of good policies by dropping nothing but identity politics accusations and demonizing of the Republicans for wanting to fix a problem. Now, you have to understand what projection is. It is when you say, you know what, accuse my enemy of that which I myself is guilty of. Yeah, you're seeing a reflection of who you really are in your enemy. It might make you feel good. Maybe you're doing it, you don't know you're doing it. Or perhaps you do know you're doing it, and it's a part of your strategy, which the Democrats, they know it. That's what they've been doing. That's the whole part of their campaign strategy that needs to be uprooted and also needs to be exposed, which I'm about to do as we watch the rest of this clip.
The blame for the border crisis that he created onto Congress. And then
Now, wait a minute. Check this out. The border crisis that President Trump created on the border. Now, where's she getting that from? I'm not sure. Did President Trump make a call to Honduras and say, hey, Honduras, send us all of the people who wants a better life and wants to work a gig here in America against all of our policies and our border laws? Just send them so that when they get to the border, then I can complain that it's a crisis. No, it was all types of other people working to get them here. Lobbyists and protesters and people who are aligned with the Democratic Party and globalism that went down there and encouraged these people and helped organize the trip. And these people, Joy Reid and her posse, denied it the whole time. He started calling it a crisis. He's calling it a caravan. There's no caravan. I don't care what your eyes see and your ears hear. Believe us, the sincere liberal media. We're telling you the truth. Don't believe your lying eyes. So then when they show up and they start storming our border, that's not a crisis. It's not a crisis to all the people in Mexico and in Tijuana was going, look, we can't feed these people. They're violent. They're acting up. They're mad. Are people ready to start rioting? What Trump said was right. But according to them, Trump started that crisis. Yeah, that's what he did. So let's see what else she got.
That process, telling Republicans they should stop, quote, wasting their time on immigration until the midterms. Two bills have been brewing in the House. The more conservative bill failed. The other, a so-called compromise bill, meaning a compromise between hardline and more moderate Republicans with no input from Democrats, is set to get a vote next week. The bill, among many things, ends family separation at the border and offers Dreamers a chance for legal status and for some a path to citizenship. But it also gives Trump $25 billion.
Okay, so now the bill ends family separation at the border. All right, well, okay, y'all gonna come over. If you're with your parent and you bring your kids over, then yeah, we might not separate you, but we ain't gonna let you just roll up in our country and start roaming around just because you got a kid. You know what? That's the get out of jail free card. Take your kid, go into the country, see what you like, go around, meet some people, enjoy yourself. Can we get you some stuff while you're in here? Now listen, the only thing we're asking you to do is just come back for a court appearance in about 2 years because we're really backdated. And we just trust that you're coming here and you're going to do the right thing and you're going to be back here. Yeah, that's what no. We're not going to have that because, see, we're not stupid. We finally got a president that's using common sense. A whole dose of nothing but common sense. And these people like to operate on nonsense. Yeah. And the way they're able to do it is by blinding people with feel-good stuff, emotional rants about, separation and ripping babies from their parents. They're not talking about all the women that's raped coming over here, all the kids that's kidnapped and ripped from their parents so that coyotes and people can get here. They're not talking about that. They're not talking about all the kids that get ripped in America from their parents from the drugs that come across the border. Nah, they're not talking about that. They're not talking about all of the parents in America that had their kids ripped from them by people who either accidentally killed Americans that, these are legal citizens that came over here, or purposely killed Americans. See, they don't want to talk about that. And, they're always bringing that stuff up. Well, you know what? I mean, pound for pound, there's less illegal immigrants that commit crime than Americans. First of all, that statistic is always skewed. They try to, spin it and make it sound one way. But even if it is, let's just say that's true. My point is this. So what? Okay, legal versus illegal. Citizens versus non-citizen. Meaning if this person wasn't here, this person in America would be alive. That's all I'm saying. So it doesn't matter whether there's some statistics you want to throw out there. It's a logical reality that if you stop illegal immigration, you don't have to worry about an illegal immigrant either accidentally killing an American or purposely killing one. Okay? One American life is one too many when you can look at it and say, well, if this person wasn't, I don't mind if I got killed by an American acting a fool or accidentally or whatever. But for somebody to be in our country illegally and could have been prevented, I got a problem with that, okay? But not Joy. No, she wants to focus on how it affects the people who chooses to violate our laws. Yeah, how it affects them. We have to have sympathy on the lawbreakers. Yeah, see, according to Joy Reid and the rest of her crew, it's not about, they're breaking the law. It's about we have to have empathy on them. All you people who rob those banks, we have a lot of empathy. You have to think about how it impacts your family and your kids. Just not be too hard on them, okay? They just needed some cheese to get by. The first of the month came, they had some bills. Don't be so hard on them. They need a little bit of bread and have some butter. So it's okay. We don't want to rip them from their kids. That's what we don't want to do, okay? Is that what she's saying? What else did the bill say? Oh, it allows legalized immigrants to apply for green cards through merit-based systems. Now, what's wrong with that? I don't understand. Now, if you're coming to a country, are you coming to contribute to the solution or you're part of the problem? All right? Let's be honest. Everything revolves around how you're going to benefit something. You don't recruit the sorriest football players. You know what? We're looking at drafting some people from Ohio State. They're like, well, do you want the number one pick who scored all the touchdowns? Nah. Do you want the best blocker? Nah. We want that guy that never really played except for maybe once or twice when they were winning by about 70 points. And they said, hey, Yeoman Johnson, come here. You're in. We're winning by 1,000,000 points. Get in there. We want that guy. Okay? Because he's going to contribute to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. Just because he's a nice guy. No. Businesses, teams, everything, look at how can we improve or make it better. We don't just randomly roll the dice and pick people to work at a company. Hey, everybody, listen, put your names and numbers in the hat. We're going to shake it up and we're gonna pull a number out, and if this is your number, you're now gonna be the CEO of our new company, okay? No, we don't need to see your resume. Put that stuff away. Put it away. Your resume's no good here. It's all about random choice. That's what they're trying to say. What is the problem with merit-based? And it says $25 billion for border wall security. I mean, sounds like a great deal to me. Let's continue.
Dollars for his wall that Mexico was supposed to pay for.
Check that out. See how she slid that in? The subliminal to all of y'all. The $25 billion fund is amount in Mexico was supposed to. Yeah, slide that in a little bit.
Reductions on legal immigration. It makes it harder to apply for asylum in the United States.
Okay, you know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah, we need to change the asylum laws. Right now, you just come over here and just, they want it to where you can come across anywhere on the border. I mean, you just run straight across a pond, get over here, tag, you're on the base, you're safe now all of a sudden. Border Patrol can't touch you. Hey, by the way, I'm going to backdate my request for asylum. Now that I'm over here, I'm going to let you know I really was planning on coming in the right port down there, but I didn't make it. I didn't make it down there. So now that you've caught me, I'm going to tell you, hey, I want asylum. Yeah. After I get caught coming across a place where I shouldn't have been. That's what I want. So yes, of course we need to tighten this up because see, the Democrats are playing naive as if they don't know that people have gotten hit to our asylum laws and are taking advantage of it. Yeah, they don't want you all, the American people, to really know how sorry our immigration laws are and how they enable and encourage negative behavior. And people see it and take advantage of it. You don't think they would? You don't think, I know this because I'm black and I grew up poor, all right? My mama knew the system in and out. That's why she didn't worry about teaching us stuff about saving and investing and credit and all that stuff. She taught us how to manipulate the system, how to survive. If you go down and you tell them this, you get your food stamps, and then you can go ahead, double that with some welfare, and if you want, you can work a job as long as the person pay you on the table, and this and that. That's what we learn. Okay, that is human behavior. They will look around and find out loopholes and say, let's go ahead and take advantage of that. And you have to adapt and adjust to stop that. But see, the Democrats don't really want to stop it. We're going to find this out in a second.
Discusses Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, Democrat representing the state of Washington. And Congresswoman, thank you very much. Your advocacy this week has been really important.
Now listen to what she said. The opening line, thank you very much. Your advocacy has been really important. Here's translation. This is a safe space for you to spew out any garbage you want, and I'm not going to check it. So go ahead, shoot, fire, throw out anything you want, any statistic, any claim, any statement, and I'm not going to even question you on it. I'm going to sit there and nod like, Oh, tell us more, wise one. That's what I'm going to do.
That. Thank you, Joy. Thanks for everything you're doing on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's talk about this bill.
And thank you, Joy, for running interference for us and pushing our propaganda. We really appreciate that.
The first bill went away. So this supposed compromise bill that may come up for a vote next week, $25 billion for the wall Mexico was supposed to pay for, pathway to citizenship for some dreamers, ends family separation. But it also ends the visa lottery, limits family-based migration in favor of, quote, merit-based programs, and raises the bar for being allowed to pursue asylum claims in the U.S.
Okay, so wait, let's take a second for a second. This might be a little long video, but I'm trying to get through it. Okay, now, first of all, it says ends visa lottery, limited family-based migration in favor of merit-based programs. What's the problem? I don't see what the problem is, okay? The visa lottery. Basically what that is by choice. We just roll a dice and you might get into America based on us rolling the dice. We don't need to check your credentials to see what you're coming to contribute to America. No, we're just going to go ahead and pick you randomly. And then it also limits family-based migration. Come on now, let's be honest. What country allows you to drag about 50 of your family members over there? Imagine if I go and say I'd like to be a citizen of Moscow. Pootie, you mind if I come in? He said, don't worry, come bring him into Russia. Mother Russia embraces you. And I come into Mother Russia and I say, by the way, here's me, my cousin Bubba, my cousin Netta, Kiki, Lamar, my Uncle Richie, then my cousin Boo Boo, but he's locked up. But when he get out, he's coming too. And then we go, no, Pootie be like, I didn't sign up for this. Most countries would say, that's crazy. But America, since we have a big dodo bird sitting on top of our heads, Democrats. Yeah, we just say, come on, bring everybody in. And you know why they're not upset about that? More the merrier for them, because they're saying, bring everybody because we want you to come in and embrace our party and vote for us and keep us in power for the rest of eternity. Then it goes on and says, raises the bar for being allowed to pursue an asylum claim in the U.S. Absolutely. If your country ain't at war If you ain't running because they trying to kill or persecute you for your religious beliefs or for your political beliefs, what are you doing? Gang violence is not an excuse, okay? Other things like we broke down here. That's not an excuse. How do you justify that to all the people who really need asylum or the people who stand in line to get into the country the legal way? Let's continue.
Have any chances of passing, and will it even get on the floor?
Okay, here we go.
I don't think it has a chance of passing because Republicans have never been able to come together to put together anything that they can get on their own side, but then they refuse to talk to Democrats. But I have a couple things to say. I mean, first of all, this bill does not...
Just throw out a random statement. Just go blow past that. They've never been able to come together, and they refuse to talk to the Democrats. You mean the same Democrats that said, you know what, I'm not giving nothing, maybe $1. That's it. Yeah, those Democrats, the ones who said, you know what, we want some type of amnesty for all the dreamers. We want 800,000 of them. And Trump said, okay, I'll give you what, like 1,700? He doubled it. He's like 1.7 million. And they were like, what? Oh, we didn't expect you to give it to us. We thought maybe you can resist it and then we can use that and say Trump hates all of you guys because you're racist and don't want to help the dreamers out. But it did. Well, anyway, you get where I'm going. What we're going to end up doing, we're going to now just kind of tiptoe out quietly and act like, what? I thought we were talking about something. I can't remember, though. It was something about some, yeah. And then when the next time we have to pass the budget, we'll bring all this stuff back up and act like it was your fault that nothing got done.
And family separations. Very important for people to understand that. It actually codifies indefinite family detention. It takes away all the court-ordered conditions.
Okay, it codifies indefinite family retention. Let's be honest. America does not have the room or resources to hold whole families here forever. Okay, nobody's saying indefinite. What are you doing? Are you going to? Is she saying? Listen to how she's just totally attacking our intelligence. Or is she saying that we see a lady and two kids come over here and we say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to grab you and your two kids, put you in this detention home, and let you live here forever off of the taxpayers' dollar. No, it is until we figure out something so that we can decide whether you're here legitimately or not. All right. But she's making it seem like we just taking prisoners or something. They always have the choice to turn around and go back home. That's all I'm saying. So if you want to stay here with your kids, cool, but you'll be here for a while until we figure this out. Versus what the Democrats want, because it ultimately helps them by releasing them into the United States to meander about and get lost in the shuffle. Eventually, they will start voting, or they'll get to the point where we pass something stupid and give all the illegals that's here some type of citizenship and the ability to vote. And then guess what? They all vote Democrat. And guess who stays in power? The Democrats. Let's continue with this propaganda.
For how you can hold people. What does that mean? It means things like clean drinking water, toilets. It takes away all of that. So just in terms of...
Okay, so it takes away all of that. Now, what is she saying? Please be specific. I mean, can she give me some examples of us coming over here and going down into the border, grab a family, get in here, we're going to throw you in this little cage right here and make you drink toilet water. That's what we're going to do. You and your kids, you're going to be drinking out of that toilet water. I know it's a little yellow stained, okay? But don't worry. If you need to drink, you'll drink it. That's what I'm saying. If you want to live, you'll drink the pee water. You know, what is she talking about? I mean, anyway, let's continue.
Crisis at the border, it does nothing to fix that crisis. Secondly, you mentioned some of the other hardline provisions.
Yes, it does. It does a lot to fix that crisis. See, because when you tighten up that stuff and you make it less convenient for people to come this way, they have a tendency to stay their butts home, okay? You know why I don't go to certain places? Because it's inconvenient. There's certain times where people, let's go to Cedar Point. And I'm going, man, Cedar Point's far, it's hot. It's a lot of people there. The lines are long. It's inconvenient. Granted, if I make it there and I happen to get on a ride, it's great, but it doesn't offset all of the inconvenience. So guess what? If they make it hard for people to get here, they're going, yeah, it's a long trip. We might make it all the way to the border, but then we got to wait a whole long time to even get in the country, and we may not even get in. Okay, inconvenient. I'll stay here. But long as they think that, hey, it's a guaranteed shoe-in once we make it, then they're going to keep coming. So it does do something to slow it down or stop it at the border. What is she talking about? Propaganda. That's what she's talking about.
82% of dreamers would be locked out of any permanent path to citizenship. So that means we're going to have a permanent underclass of people. And then on top...
Now check this out. Citizenship. See, now, granted, they have legal status, But what she wants is citizenship. Why is it important to have citizenship? Because you also get the benefits of being a citizen. What is the biggest benefit that they want them to have? Is the ability to vote and to receive government assistance, okay? Because guess what they did to black people? They did the same thing. All right, if we're going to go ahead and make them citizens and we're going to declare they're 100% human beings and now they can vote, let's have them voting for us for the rest of their lives, the rest of history. So what we do is we say, give them citizenship, get them on a government assistance, tell them that we're there for them and we're the champion for black people. And guess what they become? Codependent on us because we're the party that pushes government assistance and keeping you in that condition. We don't want to fix that because then you'll get off government assistance and you become independent. But we want you codependent, just like you're trying to get these illegal immigrants to become. So that's why it's important for her and the rest of the Democrats to make them become citizens. And we want them to get citizenship. I bet you do.
That you add that it has all these draconian things. And, you know, Joy, what I really appreciate about your show is you're trying to get underneath just sort of the top lines. I don't think...
What I really appreciate about your show is that you're trying to undermine logic, practicality, reasoning, the law, the Constitution. That's what you're doing, and intelligence. You're trying to undermine all that. We appreciate that.
That Trump and the Republicans have really any desire to see a solution to any of the immigration issues that we're dealing with. In fact, they create crisis.
Okay, now you hear this dumb statement. The man built his whole campaign around building a wall and was willing to shut the government down and has been talking about illegal immigration from day one up until now, constantly. But yet he has no desire to fix the problem. Okay, now, granted, there are some rhinos who left already and don't have to deal with this, you know, Paul Ryan, cats like that. Yeah, they might not have been interested in it, but Trump definitely is. And guess who else is? His voters. It's a big issue for us, okay? Because we see what y'all really trying to do. That's why, all right? But y'all don't want to admit that. What they want us to think is that they're just looking out for all the people and the kids and the babies and a better life. They don't want to tell us the real motive for this. So now they want to say Trump's not interested in fixing this. He's just willing to shut down the government and bring it up every speech and throw all types of press conferences and appeals to the American people, all because he's just wanting to project like he just want to fix it, but he really doesn't. I guess he wants an illegal immigration problem. I guess he wants more people to come. So he's willing to send down troops and all of that to stop them from getting over because he doesn't want to fix it. That's what you're telling. See, this is the type of stuff that I say, how do people watch CNN, MSNBC, and not catch the fact that they are belittling your absolute noodles, your intelligence. They're trusting and banking on people to watch this to have a low viewer IQ. They're saying we can slide stupid stuff in. It's an oxymoron, totally opposite to what we're saying, and they won't even catch it.
That's what Trump did by ending the DACA program, and then, you know, this crisis with families being separated, children being kept in cages.
So he created the problem. That's what you're telling me. He created the problem by ending the DACA program, the one that Obama signed, the executive order, all right, saying, you know what, we're going to go ahead and give all of these dreamers who were brought here against their own will some temporary citizenship, but this ain't forever. So at what point are we going to address it and fix it and either make it permanent, make it a pathway or something? But you can't do that unless you go ahead and get rid of the last executive order. And when he did it, he said, now you guys get together, Congress, do your job. Get together, come up with a plan. Give it to me. And then he was willing to work with them just like he is now. But see, she don't want to bring that up. And then guess what she does? She goes right to the meat and potatoes, start talking about the ripping of children and caging them as if Obama didn't do that. And all of the false propaganda where they had pictures staged under Obama's leadership. You know, don't want to talk about how Obama released like 2,000 plus, you know, kids to traffickers. Human traffickers, didn't even question them. Yeah, you know, separated them, but then just trusted random people to come up like, yes, that's my son right there. Come here, Jose. It's like, yo, okay, Jose, go ahead. But he's like, but that's not me, Papa. They're like, hey, Jose, get out of here. Go ahead, go to your father. Yeah, that's what Obama did. But, you know, we don't want to talk about those things because they don't serve the Democrats' agenda. So let's forget that. Let's forget that ever happened. Okay, let's move on.
Those crises, because they are useful for political reasons to drum up the racism and the hatred. And so what would happen?
Go right to it. Okay, so now the whole reason why we want to stop illegal immigrants from coming over here is all because of racism and hatred. Forget the millions of legal Mexicans, Indians, Chinese, Japanese, Africans, you name it. Forget the millions of those legal immigrants that are here. Forget the millions of born here people of color, okay? Forget all of them. We just want to stop this other group of people of color from coming here simply because they're people of color, not because they're coming here illegally. That's what she wants you to believe. This is all built and based off of racism and hate. That's what it all comes down to, right? And it drums it up. Now, here's the irony of all of that. The only people that pushes the narrative of race are the Democrats. Trump never talked about race. He talked about Mexico, Honduras, and illegal immigrants coming here, okay? If they happen to all be Mexican, so be it. If they happen to all be Honduras, so be it. But one thing they all had in common, they all, when they come here, are illegal immigrants. And that's the big key to the whole argument that these people forget. They don't forget. They know it's there. What they want you to think is, don't look at that. Look at race. Look at all of that stuff. Hatred. Look at the motive that we're going to assign to why he's doing this. Not the real motive to simply correct a problem, fix a broken system, and keep America safe. We don't want you looking at that because that makes too much sense. We want you to think with your heart. That's it. Look at the babies. We'll take a couple snapshots. Go ahead and put some stuff and make it look like it's all Trump's fault and throw people on Time Magazine with Trump looking down at the little kid that never really happened. We want all of that. We want all of that to be in your head so then that you'll support our stupidity. Yeah, that's what we want.
Fixed immigration, there would be nobody to blame anymore. And right now, immigrants, and this is not just right now, it has been true, as your previous guests have been saying, has been true for some time. But the level of discourse now coming directly from the bully in the bully pulpit is making it so much worse because there's no filter, and Republicans have become the party of Trump, as you've been saying. They believe that it is in their interest to continue to have Americans think that all immigrants, there's no distinction here, all immigrants.
You're right. There is no distinction in her statement. She said, they will have the American people believe that all immigrants, there's no distinction. Now listen what she's saying. Meaning, she's saying that immigrants and illegal immigrants have no distinction. They're all the same. She left a key word out on purpose. I had to expose that. This is what I mean by propaganda. She's just straight convincing the audience that we're not talking about the difference between legal immigrants and illegal immigrants, even though President Trump constantly says that when he talks about immigration. We want immigration. We want people to come here. We want them to come the right way, legally, and then you get a hack like this that gets on TV and just ran it all together and try to misplace or project what they're doing on the president. So now they're saying he wants you to think that all immigrants, all of them, there's no distinction, and yet they themselves want you to think that all illegal immigrants are blended in with legal immigrants. Do you see the hypocrisy? Do you see the projection? Do you see the gaslighting? Do you see all of that? Do you see the disinformation? Do you see the propaganda? Do you see the bait and switch? Do you see the corruption? Do you see it? That's what I want to know. Do you see it? Hopefully you do.
Black coming to the United States are somehow going to do crimes to people. I don't think the American people are.
Now listen, notice what she did. She just straight up conflated the whole situation. That all immigrants coming to America are going to somehow do crime. That is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. You got a whole bunch of Indians from India and Mexicans and a whole bunch of Asians. You don't see a whole bunch of Asian crime going on. You don't see a bunch of African crime going on, Indian crime going on. And pound for pound, legal immigrants from Mexico and Latin countries, you don't see a lot of that going on, okay? But when you start seeing illegal immigrants breaking the law, that's a problem because you shouldn't have been here. All right. So what is she talking about? She's trying to make it seem like Trump just blankly said, you know what, scrap it. We're not even talking about Honduras and all these illegal immigrants or wherever they're coming from. Let's just go ahead and focus on all immigrants, whether they're European, whether they're Asian, whether they're whatever. They're all criminals. They're all criminals. That's what she wants you to believe.
Actually buying that. I just saw a new poll in the New York Times saying 72% of Americans do believe that immigration is good for this country.
Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear her drop off the real issue on this statement? 72% of Americans believe that immigration is good for the country. But notice what she didn't say. She didn't say how many Americans feel that illegal immigration is good for the country. See, that's the issue that we're talking about. We're not talking about regular immigration, because I think immigration is good for the country as well to a degree. However, she wants you to think that all Americans, most of them, are okay with illegal immigration because, see, notice she shift topics. She's able to stiff arm her way away from the real topic. Okay, get away from me, illegal immigration. Get away from me. I'm going to go ahead and pull in immigration and focus on that and try to convince you all that everybody's doing it. Yeah, she hit us with the old school when my man was running down the street naked, streaking. Yeah, and he was talking about, come on, everybody's doing it. That's what they want us to think, that everybody's doing it. And when you see somebody butt naked and you say that's stupid, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not getting out there and running down the street naked. That's how it is with the Democrats. Everybody supports illegal immigration. And I'm going, that's stupid. Yeah, that's making us vulnerable. We're butt naked. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to support that. But see, that little bait and switch goes right over the head of some people. Right over the head. They don't catch that she didn't mention illegal immigration. So yes, I don't see the problem with legal immigration, but I do have a problem with illegal immigration. And she's not bringing that side out. Yeah, on purpose.
Absolutely stoking racism for political gain.
And to that very point, Mike
Now,
Huckabee,
here's the crazy part about that. Once again, the only group that stokes racism is the Democratic Party. Nobody on the right is arguing that they should not come here because they are of color or of Latin descent. We're saying not to come here because you are coming here illegally. Only time racism comes up is when they try to argue against logic and can't do it, so they block your logic with things like racism and discrimination and people of color and all this stuff, because what we really want doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense that we have people just jumping over the border and coming in anytime they want. So we need to blind you from your own eyes, ears, and logic and reasoning skills to pushing the fact that the motive for not wanting this to happen have to be racism. If it wasn't for the Democratic Party and the liberal media, most people in America wouldn't wake up even thinking about racism. Do you know how far we would have come now if we didn't have the Democratic Party resurfacing racism constantly in the minds of people? I think we would be very close to a harmonious society at this point. It is those people like her, Joy Reid, rest of the funky, crooked Democratic Party and the liberal media who keeps it going, stirring it up, reminding us of it, telling us it's everywhere, it's hiding behind you. Look back, look out. Well, what? Here's some racism coming. All of that stuff. They keep that stuff going. And yet, this is what I'm calling projection. It's not us. We're defending people from racism by reminding them and telling them that everything that the other party does is generated and motivated by race. That's how we're defending it. We're not telling you of cases that people are doing and saying, man, we're doing this because you're black. We don't want you freaking Mexicans over here. Haven't heard one of the overwhelming amount of Mexican Border Patrol people who are arresting other Mexicans and Honduras and stuff. We don't hear them talking about, we hate you guys coming over because you're Mexican. Or we don't want to focus on all of the Mexicans in Tijuana that was saying, look, we don't want y'all invading our city either. And we Mexican. See, they don't want to talk about that. They just want to focus on the elite, rich, white men in the Republican Party who hates all Mexicans and people of color. That's what they want to talk about.
We used to sort of be considered kind of the face of, sort of friendly Republican evangelicalism many, many years ago, but now he's become this guy. Tweeted this.
Now listen to
today.
this. Listen to this. First of all, I'm mad because she's talking about Mike Huckabee, and he's my friend. Okay, Mike Huckabee is my friend. You don't talk about the Huck. I love Mike Huckabee. He keeps it real, all right? He was in my top 3 Republican candidates during the primaries. Now, she got the nerve to downplay him. He used to be, but now he's this guy. What does this guy mean? You mean a guy who shows gang members from MS-13? Okay, is Joy Reid defending these guys? Is it not an appropriate picture and statement based on these guys? I'm just wondering. Okay, let's see.
I believe Nancy Pelosi introduces her campaign committee for the Take Back the House. And it's a picture of tattooed Latino men without shirts. This idea of demonizing, and only, by the way, when it comes to the children taken away.
Now notice, Latino men with tattoos. She left out a crucial piece of information. MS-13 members. Just like when Trump called them animals, but the liberal media said he's calling all immigrants animals. No, he was calling MS-13 animals. Just like Joy Reid skipped and hopscotched right over that part. She don't want y'all to know that these are MS-13 people. I guess that when we look at this picture, we assume all those tattoos is just them expressing their creativity and you know, their diversity. And when it comes down to, you know, their ink, that's all it is. These are not gang members. These are just innocent Latin men that's over here enjoying the fruits of America and wanting a better life. That's right. They're not MS-13 members. That's what she wants y'all to think. But she skipped over that information.
From their parents, only showing the boys in gray sweatshirts and pushing this idea among their base that there are these hordes of violent Latino men, boys coming across the border.
Now, you know what's killing me about that? Here we go. Propaganda, running interference. All right. So she goes in and she starts to talk about demonizing these people. What? Demonizing people who demonize themselves already? MS-13 practice on themselves. Okay? They're not walking around like choir boys in robes, singing mask hymns. Oh, he took the bread into his hand. No, they're not singing hymns. These guys are shooting people on subways. They're murdering people. They're chopping people up. They're doing stuff like that. They did it on themselves. They brought it on themselves. All right? You the sum total of your own choices. You gave us the stereotype about MS-13. We didn't just randomly see these guys and say, you know what, I think they're murderers and killers. No, they said, we want y'all to know how vicious we are. We like this reputation. It gives us some type of power. That's why we want to let everybody know that we're killers. Okay, but Joy, she doesn't know that. So maybe she should go and hang out with them. Maybe she should go visit these innocent groups of just Latino men that we've demonized. Go ahead and interview them, Joy. Take your crew and go right on down there where they all congregate. Go in, excuse me, we're going in to talk to some MS-13 members. Hi, I'm Joy Reid. We've been watching the latest news, and President Trump and Mike Huckabee are demonizing you, and we think you got a bad rap. Is that a body? Is that a body back there? Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and start backing up. Get the car. Let's keep the Jeep running. Okay, so anyway, we just want to, let's cut and go to commercial, come back like, wow, that was a great interview with MS-13. They told us how none of the things the president's saying is true. And he's making it up. They've just demonized them. Well, where's the rest of the footage of the interview? Oh, you know what? We had a satellite fell and it was messed up. But trust me, take my word. They're great guys as they're driving 100 miles down the freeway to get away from them. Okay? So don't give me that crap, Joy. Secondly, our eyeballs see things, okay? Meaning, when they show the footage of the overwhelming amount of young men that's war ready, these are men that's ready to go into the military. I didn't see a lot of women ripping down fences, running up the hills, and stuff like that. They were men. But Joy Reid wants you to think that what your eyes saw wasn't true. Excuse me. Now, let me get back to this mess.
To argue with what you're saying, that this is not an electoral strategy. Does it frighten you in a way that they
Did you see that great
is...
acting? Does it frighten you in a way? That was great acting. She should have won an Oscar. Yeah. For being the dumbest person on TV.
This will work on their base. That they believe there are millions of people who for whom this will work.
Well,
okay.
It does frighten
see this? This is a part of shaming y'all, okay? Making it seem like looking at the reality of what we really see is not what we really see, and you are dumb for believing it. Do you think this will work on their people? Like, why would people believe this dumb stuff? Just like all of us that are conservative and see the propaganda of the liberal media, scratch our heads and say, how in the world do you believe this crap? All right? It doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm going to run out of tape. I'm going to have to go ahead and do the second part of this. Give me a second. I have to delete some stuff off my phone and come right back. And I'm back. Had to delete some stuff. Now, let's continue. Got my pressure all up.
because I think we are seeing the laying of conditions. And don't get me wrong, this has been happening over some time, but never like this from the White House so openly, and then with a series of policy changes between Jeff Sessions, Kristen Nielsen, a series of policy changes that actually cement this kind of racism into the system more than ever before. And so,
you know what, here, it blows my mind how she's able to throw out all types of random statements that make no sense. Cements the racism, not cements laws, not implements laws, not solves problems, not prevents illegal immigrants from taking advantage of our system. None of that. This is all about cementing racism into our system. You don't have a better argument to why we should just have open borders and let people violate our immigration process than racism. I mean, is this what it's become? Is this what it's become? Of course, for the Democratic Party, it's always been that. It has always been, let us just simply divert. Let me get focused. Why ain't this focused? There we go. Let us simply divert away from having to defend this garbage because it makes no sense by simply saying all of this is so you can cement racism into the system. That's it. That is all it is. We know, we see what's in y'all heart. Ain't got nothing to do with the crime, the drugs, the trafficking, the cartel, the people who get killed or hurt by illegal immigrants. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't got nothing to do with the toll it takes on our economy. No, it's all because you hate people of color. Now, you would think if the hatred was that deep and the diabolical plan to rid America of people of color, they would start with the ones that were citizens, that already were born here, that's illegal, legal citizens that's here. They'd be like, get them all out of here. But no, they're living peaceful. We're not being chased down. We're enjoying life, all of that stuff. Nobody's knocking down our doors, nothing. So then how can you justify that the efforts to stop illegal immigration is motivated by racism when we are already such a mixed melting pot in America and there's no attack on people of color in America? But of course, if you talk to the Democrats, it's a constant attack on us and our rights are constantly being rolled back, but you can't identify real examples of how that's happening. But just trust us. Trust us, your rights are being rolled back. And you got dummies that believe it and they'll tell you in your face, man, Trump taking all our rights away. Which ones? The ones that I like, the ones that, okay, maybe it ain't affecting me, but I'm telling you, it's affecting some people of color. Yeah, okay.
That's frightened me, and I'll tell you, it's personal, it's political, it's collective, it's everything. I am one of only a dozen members of Congress who were born outside of the United States.
Tell us your backdrop.
I came to the United States from India when I was 16 years old by myself.
Pulled yourself up by the bootstraps, came here by I commend you for all of that, but what does that have to do with anything? See, what you didn't tell people, but I came here legally. See, you didn't tell them that. And then I'm trying to support people to come here illegally.
Incredible privilege of serving as the first Indian American woman in the U.S. House of Representatives. And, every time they just use words like infest, invade. I mean, the president used the word infest, invade, this idea of
Now, notice she didn't tell you in what context he used that, okay? And she also, just like she didn't tell you the context of invade, because apparently people running up trying to jump over the fence and running through the Mexican police when they have borders up and they're trying to stop people and throwing stuff at them. That's not an invasion. So I guess then tomorrow we can run up on whoever this lady's name is or Joy's house. Get about 50 people, just start throwing rocks through their windows, running, kicking down the fence, jumping over it, banging on the door. You're going to let us in and you won't call the police because that's not a home invasion. That's just us simply wanting to come in and have a better life. That's it. We just got impatient, waiting on the outside of your door. We want to come in and get some cool water, a swig of water, wet our whistle. Yeah, feel like I got a porcupine in my throat, so I need a swig of lemonade in your house without your consent. And how dare you? How dare you say you don't have a right to come in here because if you say that, you're racist.
Invasion of brown and black people. This goes all the way back, as you well know.
Here we go.
Very far in the history of this country.
Here we go.
It is also...
Now, you know what makes me mad? Get out of here. Get her out of here, okay? See, this is what makes me mad. You come over here from India, benefit off of America. Okay, work your way all the way to the top only to trash America. And granted, whatever happened in the history, what she's doing is dragging that into the future and in the present. That's all she's doing. Instead of keeping it where it was at and saying, you know what, that was a terrible time in our history, we're going to now act as if that's going on right now, but only for political reasons, see, because it's not really going on right now. But we're going to use that garbage and say it's happening right now. Make a drastic comparison so that you can push a political agenda, and yet you yourself came over here and benefited off of all of this racism, sexism, misogyny, and all of that stuff, huh? So if that's the case, if America's so bad, then you can tiptoe right on back to India, okay? You can be the first congresswoman to move back to India. That's what you can do. It burns me up for citizens, people to come over here, get citizenship in our country, trash the country, try to demonize the country, the system that we got set up. A president is trying to do something to make it legal for people to come over here and make it right. And her butt gets up here and tries to bring up a drastic comparison that doesn't even apply to what's going on.
In Nazi Germany, it is what happened during the Japanese internment. Germany. And people on both sides of the aisle have been making this case. Laura Bush on the internment and Michael Haidt.
Okay. Nazi Germany. Okay. So you're telling me then that illegal immigrants coming from Honduras and other places, rushing through our border, taking advantage of our system, is the same as the government going into everybody's houses, dragging out legal citizens of that country and putting them in concentration camps and killing them and trying to exterminate them. That's what you're telling me, huh? They didn't separate kids just so they can figure things out. They were separating kids to run experiments on them, kill them, parents to kill them, all these things. That's what they were doing. But yet you're saying by us trying to get a hold of illegal immigration for people that come here willfully, knowing that our laws prevent that, that's the same as Nazi Germany or what happened during the Japanese camps that was put in place when we was at war with Japan. And we couldn't figure things out. So you know what? Hey, okay, until we figure this out, how about this? Let's put everybody in this camp. And when the war's over, we can kind of sort things out. But we weren't killing them. We weren't gassing them. None of that stuff. So what is she talking about? It's that type of propaganda, see, that just makes me want to go pow, right in the kisser.
And former CIA director saying these were the conditions in the 30s that led to what happened in the 40s. And so
now what is she implying? She's implying by us enforcing immigration policies and laws, it's going to lead to what happened in Germany. It's going to lead to us, for whatever reason, going into legal citizens' houses and putting them in concentration camps, I guess. That is what she's saying. That's what the left always does. They have these drastic comparisons and they throw out inferences just so it will plant a thought in the mind of the viewer and make that connection, even though the connection isn't a practical application and a connection. But that's what they want you to think. The worst, when you think about us saying, hey, stay in your country. Don't come over here. All of a sudden now, that's Hitler-like. See, that's what it really comes out. It's very simple. Don't come here illegally. We didn't drag you over here. We're not forcing you to stay here. You came over here, but yet we're Hitler for forcing you to have to come through the legal way, right? How do anybody in the whole wide United States vote for Democrats? I just don't understand it. I'm having a serious moment here, y'all. Normally I'm joking, I'm laughing, yeah, but I'm serious right now. How? How do you do it?
I think we have to be very, very concerned about what's happening. And, that's the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know, Congresswoman, that you will be a part of the big protests next week.
Yeah, I bet you will be. Weekend. Yeah, that's the issue. Here's a tissue for your issue, okay? Because that was nothing but bull crap propaganda that she spewed. And unfortunately, it took me almost an hour to just dissect and destroy that whole thing. But as you see it, my goal is to point out the sub-motive and expose the tactic that they use to manipulate the audience. I don't know what it is. I got a gift to see that crap and see right through it and expose it and interpret it. Once people start seeing it, you can't unsee it. Every time they open their mouths, you're catching stuff. Oh, look, she left a word off. Oh, she didn't. She mistermed that one. We ain't talking about legal immigration. We're talking about illegal immigration. Yeah, Joey Reid left off the fact that it's MS-13. He's made it seem like, oh, you know what? He's threw some Latino men up there and just demonized them for no reason. Yeah, so see how they play games? See how they try to manipulate the minds of the people? And the sad part about it is it works. And that's why they keep doing it. They know exactly what to do. When in doubt, go to racism, sexism, all of that stuff. So we can eventually push socialism. And that's what we want. That's the real ism we want. All these other isms are just, they're catalysts to get to the big ism. Socialism, all right? Possibly even communism. Yeah, that's what they really want. So you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. I had to absolutely destroy this woman from India who came over here and now has become one of the elites in our society. But of course, she don't care about fixing the broken immigration system that will affect people that walk around every day in neighborhoods and streets that she ain't in. Okay, I was poor and everything. Well, you know what? You went ahead and you capitalized on the American dream. Great for you. Help other Americans get it. Okay, or other legal immigrants get it. But don't go out there and do what the Democrats are doing, along with the funky, crooked, dirty, liberal media, and justify people breaking the law. It should be illegal for them to run interference and encourage people to practice lawlessness. It really should. I can't even believe it. How you gonna get up there and say, yeah, come on, everybody, keep coming, it's okay, and nobody checks you for that? That's like me encouraging people to rob banks, steal, fight, and all of that stuff, and nobody says anything to me. They go on to attack the people. But I'm the puppet master. That's what's killing me about this, man. Anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Sorry this video was that long. I couldn't let that one slide, y'all. When I watched it, I almost threw up a little bit in my mouth. Anyway, find me every Wednesday night, 7:30 in Kevin's Corner. Live, my radio blog talk show. Also, don't forget to check me out on YouTube. I go live. Check out Extreme Tees. The link is in the bottom. And if you click on the link, put my name in the promo code and you'll get 20% discount. And don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notification button. And finally, if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, there's a link in the bottom. You can do that as well. And find me on Facebook and Twitter. Man, throat all sore. I ain't planning on that being that long as, but it was worth it. All right. God bless you. See you next time, Kevin.